Joining me today is Mark Baxa. He's the president and CEO of the Council of Supply Chain Management Professionals, better known as CMP. Mark, thanks for joining me today.
Dave, it's my pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
We're going to be talking today about the EDGE conference coming up in Nashville. And EDGE is really something that I always look forward to every year. Of course, it's sponsored by CSCMP, but it's a great opportunity just to network and get together and to learn a lot about what's going on in the industry. And of course, you being the CEO of the organization that's putting it on, what are you looking forward to seeing and doing once you get to Nashville and the EDGE conference?
Great question, Dave, and it's multifaceted, but first and foremost, I'm really looking forward to seeing the leaders in supply chain and the entire ecosystem of the supply chain, the academics, service providers, and beneficial cargo owners or shippers come together to really understand best methods to either triage and tackle today's challenges in supply chain, and also to think about the pathway to innovating and creating the next in supply chain on our journey towards continuous improvement. And, the thing that thrills me about this, and I have no guilt whatsoever in saying this, that our supply chain learning and, if you will, ecosystem within CSCMP is multifaceted, but this is the culmination of the thoroughfare of continuous learning and sharpening our skill sets and, frankly, improving our competitiveness as supply chain professionals right here at the EDGE conference. I know that we do it better than anybody else because the preponderance of what we really feature is unbiased education that's thought about and really put together over the course of time. It's not packed just to have a conference, right? To make this a profit center of some organization that's in it for the money. We're in it for the supply chain professional. And that includes students from high school all the way through the senior most professionals that perhaps are in the final twilight of their career, or perhaps beyond that, who are giving back. This is the place to be. This is the decision leaders need to make for their people to attend this conference, September 29th through October 2nd in Nashville, Tennessee. This is the place to be.
You had mentioned that obviously there's going to be some great things that are going to be taking place at EDGE, but there are a lot of choices for conferences out there, a lot of activities, travel budgets are tight. Why is this one a conference that people should not miss?
Well, I can, without any guilt again, I would say that fully, this is the place where supply chain professionals across the entire ecosystem come together to not only talk about what they have to sell or what they've learned through academic research or through practical research, and, if you will, ongoing improvements in supply chain better practices. And I like to say better because I think best gets in the way of better, right? We never are finished. We're always evolving in terms of new and innovative ways to, if you will, to improve our supply chain performance, both digitally as well as in business process. This is the event of the year where everything culminates, if you will, around the embodiment of an entire year's worth of work that also sets the precedent for the future. What's next? And that's really why we named this conference EDGE, because we are on the cutting edge of next, but we're also solving today's most critical problems. You're going to see people coming from all areas around the world, all disciplines in supply chain, who have incredible information, knowledge, and data to share that's really about improving your own understanding and for the betterment of sharpening your own skill sets so that you can leave the EDGE conference with not only fresh information, but in a way that reshapes who you are as a supply chain professional. I want you to be unrecognizable when you get back. And we do this in an unbiased fashion. We're not here to profit. We are here to see you create your own ROI, your own value. And that's what differentiates CSCMP as a supply chain association versus other conferences that frankly are in it for the money. This is really about the best of the best coming together. And that's really what we do. And the other thing too, Dave, I'll say is that we've carefully selected our keynotes, and there's just not 2 or 3. There are 6 different general sessions that include and feature a very diverse group of leaders across the spectrum of supply chain. And I think people are going to be so excited to be here this year. This is probably one of the best we have ever done. And I'm excited to see people come and really not only enjoy the experience, but get some real experiential learning from everything we have to offer.
Can you share a little bit about some of the highlights of the speakers as well as some of the tracks?
So we will cover everything from certainly talent in the supply chain to artificial intelligence to better practices on the global landscape, procurement, planning, logistics, customer service, if you will, manufacturing. All of the core disciplines will be represented. And when it comes to the keynotes, we're featuring those that have really broke barriers, that have broken kind of the paradigm of supply chain to do things in support of the business, the ecosystem of supply chain, and what's on the future horizon. We're going to be featuring the electrification of the global supply chain, a brand new report we're going to be coming out with very soon. We'll be talking about some of the most fantastic women leaders and featuring them on stage who can really set the example for others to follow. And not just women in general, but all leaders, right? But to see people like Shelley Simpson, who's achieved now, soon to be named or has been named, but will be the CEO of J.B. Hunt. What a fantastic run in her career. And she's going to speak very candidly about her journey and also to share some things on the transportation sector for sure. Roberto Azeas from Mattel. Oh my gosh, the rejuvenation of the brand of Barbie and what it's become and what Barbie represents. But the supply chain that had to feed, if you will, the thirst and hunger of demand from the everyday consumer for Barbie and how they actually created that fulfillment strategy is simply second to none. And there will be others very similar to that. So I think we're going to have some very topical, but also high impact speakers out there. And then the last thing I'll say is, it's really about what's on people's mind when they come to the EDGE conference. It's not just about a one-way conversation speaking at the participants. It's really about the participants engaging with the speakers as well, including the general sessions. So this is going to be highly collaborative, more so than we ever have done. Your voices will be heard, as well as that of the speakers and panelists that are featured throughout the conference.
And in addition to that, too, you also will be showing and highlighting some of the latest innovations in the supply chain exchange. Can you talk about that?
Well, when I think about the supply chain, I think about a three-legged stool that contributes and makes the sum of the whole. The academics, service providers, and the beneficial cargo owners or shippers. All of us come together to coalesce at this conference to experience the power of networking with one another, but experiential learning. And a lot of that happens in the supply chain exchange, where approximately 160 or so exhibitors are there who actually have a strong foothold in the supply chain ecosystem itself. Let's face the facts. Very few companies that actually make products and sell products and distribute products have their own infrastructure from an IT perspective or from a, if you will, logistics and warehousing perspective, and the list goes on. The service provider community is very strategic to making things happen and doing it in a way that where the two come together that create the next in supply chain. So no fear, this is part of the program. And I can't really overestimate or over really accentuate the fact that the supply chain exchange, our exhibit hall, is part of that learning that we put together. This is not a merchandising conference. This is a conference where we all come together to experience great learning from one another. So you need to plan to be in that exchange hall when you come to the conference. I guarantee you will benefit.
Mark, I really look forward to attending the EDGE conference this year, and I know you'll be there and our entire team, and it's going to be a great week.
Well, I look forward to it, Dave, and I look forward to seeing you, all of our guests that, and also our members that are there, and interacting with as many as I possibly can. I look forward to this year's conference in Nashville, Tennessee, September 29th through October 2nd. And I also look forward to being part of the academic research symposium that begins on Saturday, because we continue to grow our base of academics. In fact, I'll just add that CSCMP, without a doubt, is the largest network of academics in supply chain. And I am thrilled to have this part of our overall ecosystem of members.
Thank you, Mark. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Dave.